You raise a really good point about the threat of the filibuster. Today in 2021, essentially, we can get into reconciliation later, but any time that a senator is crafting a piece of legislation, there is essentially now an assumption that you need 60 votes to move it through the Senate. And that, again, that's just because of the current iteration of the filibuster rule, which has changed many times throughout history, as recently as 2017, of course, concerning Supreme Court nominations. So today, one of the great myths of the filibuster is that it is used to extend debate. But I guarantee you that if you turn on C-SPAN 2, which covers the Senate floor, most of the time you're not going to see much debate happening on the Senate floor. In fact, the filibuster has been used to thwart and shut down debate before it can even start. We did just see that most recently with the first go round of the For the People Act. I should say I do anticipate that it will come forward again in some way, shape, or form. The Senate majority is determined to move voting rights legislation, but let's just use that as an example. There's actually several bites of the filibuster apple for any single piece of legislation. With the For the People Act, and earlier this year with the January 6th Independent Commission to investigate the insurrection at the Capitol, both of those pieces of legislation to even start a debate in the Senate, everything pretty much operates by what is called unanimous consent. Believe it or not, that's 100 senators agreeing. Or if anybody objects to something on a unanimous consent request, most pieces of Senate business would then require a vote. And so absent unanimous consent to have a debate on the For the People Act, Majority Leader Schumer had to file what's called a cloture motion. That's just a fancy DC word for ending a filibuster, to even what was called file a motion to proceed to debate. So what Senator Schumer intended to do was say, let's proceed to even holding a debate on the For the People Act, this comprehensive voting rights legislation. And the Republicans opposed that. And it only takes one senator to essentially have their staffer email someone or phone in and say, I want to filibuster this. And suddenly the threshold of that vote on a motion to proceed goes from 51 to a hard 60. And no one has to show up. No one has to hold the floor. No one has to debate anything. All you do is say, I object, and the threshold is raised from 51 to 60. That's what we mean by filibuster. It's a tool and a tactic to raise the threshold to take any action, including even opening a debate. And that is what I think is in part so pernicious about the filibuster, because it's not used for bipartisan cooperation. It's not used for debate. It actually shuts it down when you have a determined minority who bands together and then controls the floor and stops debate from even starting.